How's it going, everybody? So I got this article that's related to a DUI checkpoint, where an individual kind of holds up this packet. It's got like I guess you could say a little plastic baggie with a string on it, and in it, this person has, I'm going to remain silent. I want my lawyer if, I'm arrested and so on and so forth. It's like a right statement saying, I'm only complying within the realm of the law, and that if they're going to get a ticket that's a citation for something else, just stick it in the window. And this this kind of DUI stop flyer, I think the whole movement was instigated by a gentleman who runs Fair DUI, who's a Florida attorney. And I just think that there's a couple parts to it. I think it's a cool idea in terms of how you're practically standing up for your rights. But I think in some ways, it can also defeat the purpose of trying to protect yourself when you're being stopped from, privacy intrusions. And that is that technically, when it comes to DUI stops that are checkpoints, according to the Supreme Court, they can't be informational stops. They have to be purely related to DUI. And that's the very narrow exception that has been crafted and carved out of the Fourth Amendment, because there is no reasonable suspicion underlying that stop. It's suspicionless. And you can't just do that for anything else. You can't just say, oh, it's a drug checkpoint, or oh, it's a driver's license checkpoint. That would actually be a violation of the Supreme Court's precedent. And so even providing a driver's license or proof of registration is itself, de facto, without anything else, at the stop, illegal, from the point of the police forcing you to do that, because it's not a part of the stop. DUI stops for that checkpoint have to be just related to DUI. They cannot be informational checkpoints. So, well, it's interesting that some people will be like, oh, here's my information on a window. Okay, that's great, but even that's not necessarily needed. And of course, police, if they want to, they just run your plate numbers and see your driver's license information right there, and then they'll hold you for a couple minutes. Not much more than that, of course, because that might violate other types of case law or possible statutes when it comes to how long someone can be detained at a DUI checkpoint before it becomes an unlawful stop. I think in Florida it'd be about 3 minutes before that becomes something that's illegal. So in this case, I think it's a very curious way to, if you want, flex your rights. I mean, if I were doing something like this, I personally wouldn't even do the whole, let me stick this outside the window and keep my window rolled. I'd just keep my window rolled and maybe have a sheet of paper that says, I'm remaining silent. If arrested, I want my lawyer. I wouldn't go in like, here's my driver's license, all that stuff. They can run the plate. But I personally wouldn't be doing that. And the reason is because anything you say or do could lead up to something being held against you. And a lot of people might be like, what do you mean? And be like, well, what if your registration just expired and you weren't aware? Or what if there's an error on your driver's license? Maybe you moved recently or something happened and they have a glitch in the database. Or maybe they accidentally, look at your license and they run it wrong, or it crosses with someone else's name. Well, now you might incriminate yourself accidentally, not even intentionally. So giving police as little information as possible, I think, is the wisest route when it comes to not getting yourself in trouble. And certainly if you're going to do something that's as brave as this, you probably don't want to do it alone. You probably want to have one or the two other people in the car, several cameras running, because you're likely to get some police that might abuse it. And according to this article I'm reading from the Free Thought Project, there was some sheriffs in different counties who were saying, we'll arrest you if you try to do this, which they did would be on its face illegal. That's a perfect color of law lawsuit, 42 U.S.C. 1983, as far as, the federal law is concerned when it comes to violating the rights of someone under the Fourth Amendment. I mean, that's really foolish. I'm surprised that, the sheriffs who even said that didn't check with their, departments first. I guess they want to try to fight it out and make a precedent and, have a ball show. But I think it's a terrible idea on their end because the case law is against them in that case. But, it's something to consider. The DUI checkpoints, they're not supposed to be anything other than dealing with DUI. That's the limited exception as far as that's concerned. It can't be like, oh, we're doing a drug checkpoint. Oh, we're doing an information checkpoint. No. And there is no positive law as far as the Supreme Court's concerned that says, oh, you have to open your window. I mean, there is positive law that says, okay, if they order you out, you would have to step out. When that happens, that happens. But until then, you don't have to do that. You don't have to pull out your pockets to do anything that's incriminating. And that's a general rule. If police have the authority to do something, or they think they do, probable cause-wise, they're going to do it, arrest-wise or other. The main consideration is what harm or risks are you willing to take, Obviously, you don't want your window broken in and they're saying, hey, get out here right now. Then you might want to go ahead and step on out, keep the cameras rolling, close the door, lock it behind you, and take it from there. But, it's a risk analysis. And to me, it's just kind of scary, though, that there would literally be sheriffs who would say, yeah, we'd arrest you if you do that. I mean, that's ballsy. That's ballsy to do, considering that the case law is not in their favor, and certainly the law as it stands is not in their favor for doing that. So I guess maybe they just want to try to set some precedent or fight it, but right now it's not looking good for police who want to try to flout the law in that way. So I hope that you check that article out. I put a link down below, and I'll talk to you later.